So I experienced something very odd, scary, dark the other day, and I just want to tell you guys about it because these things can happen, and hopefully this video can help somebody out there who may be going through this. Because I was confused why it happened, but I figured it out. So I haven't felt these feelings, these dark, these odd, these scary, these weird confusion feelings since before I was a Christian. A little background, I didn't grow up Christian. I didn't have people tell me about the Bible. I didn't come from that background. I wasn't raised Christian. I didn't know nothing about Jesus. So it was pretty rough for me growing up because I didn't know how to handle my emotions. And my family has history with like depression and anxiety and everything, whatever you call it. We have history with all that stuff. I didn't know how to handle it, but thank God that my family is slowly progressing and they're slowly coming to Christ. But here's how it happened. I think it was on a Friday, but this was a couple weeks ago actually. It wasn't too long ago. And it was on the Friday, I think, where it kind of lingered. It kind of like slowly crept in. I just felt like randomly just like a dark presence, and it's all mental. And that's the thing I tell people all the time. One of the most scariest things is what's up here, is the mental, because you can't fight it. You can't see it. So the only way to, kind of fix it is like God, if you believe in God, or whatever you consume with your eyes, stuff like that. It's very hard, and you can't really battle it one on one. It's all up here. But like I said, it lingered a little bit. It crept in into my mind, and I didn't know where it came from or why it happened to me, because I was like, wait, I legit felt great that whole week. I felt on fire the whole week, actually. And the next thing you know, that Friday, boom, within like an instant, how it usually happened before I was a Christian, it just poured over me. Not as strong, but then the next day, I get home from work. I'm very mad. I'm very upset at something that happened. But this was real because I have the actual stats, because I have a watch that tracks my stress. And what I'm telling you, that thing, it said that I only have 32 minutes of actual like rest that whole day, or 32 minutes of actually, not being stressed out. And you could see the orange lines. I might put it up here somewhere, but you could see the orange lines, and it's like, that is insane. So I got home on that Saturday and I was just heated. I was vivid and I didn't talk to nobody. I went straight to exercising. I was lifting my barbell, I think 60 pounds. I just lifted 100. I did 100 of them. And then I could see it in my eyes. I looked in the mirror in the bathroom. I'm like, yo, I'm hurt. And it's weird because I could tell, I could analyze it, that I was hurt, that something happened, or I was just like, whoa, something's wrong. And I was scared because I was like, I don't want this to stay. I don't like this feeling. I shouldn't have this feeling. Like, what did I do? And I know that it's never God's fault, it's always my fault when things like this would happen, or when things like this happen. It's never God's fault. It's what did I do? It didn't end. I was like, maybe if I work out, it's going to be fine. I did 100 reps of those barbells. I still didn't come down. So I went on a run outside. I ran in the dark. I did a prayer walk. I ran while and I prayed while I was running. So what I did was I didn't want to hurt the people around me. So I didn't really talk too much. I didn't want to lash out at them because I knew if I spoke out, I was ready to spill everything. I was ready to tell people about themselves, and that's not me. I never am the one now to like just be like throwing stones, even though I'm not perfect myself. The reason why this happened, I feel like, is because I wasn't relying on God's thinking. I was relying on my own thinking too much. I was losing the purpose a little bit, just a little bit. And that's what allowed, the darkness to come in for 2 days or 3 days. The worst times probably like at night when I go to sleep, where I was kind of myself. But like I said, when I woke up, I wake up angry. And I don't like doing that because, you're waking up. Like, why would you wake up angry, bro? But these things do happen. And I started journaling actually because of this. I started talking to God. And I'm not going to say what I said to God specifically or in detail, all the things that I said, but I can tell you little bits of it. But I kind of felt like I wanted to rip myself apart. I wanted to rip my heart out. In the moment, I'm like, I'm mad, but I'm also like, there's also I'm still Christian, so I was like, yo, like, I'm messing up. Like, what's wrong? And then I just felt like I wanted to rip my heart out and just, I'm not worthy of God, basically. That's how I felt like in the moment. I was like, I'm not worthy to even talk to God or to even pray to God for anything. I'm not worthy. But then I started to look at the things that happened. I started to analyze everything. God saved me, saved my brother, friends, my sister, and brought us all to church. And like there was just these bad thoughts. Satan was legit trying to pull me the other way, but it didn't work because the thing I did differently this time, the thing that got me back to reality was the Bible, was scripture. So after that run I did on that Saturday, at the end of the day, I went in my car, drove home, parked my car at my house, and I stayed in the car for a little bit, picked up my Bible, opened up the book of James, and it was weird because I went to a different chapter, but my hands just kind of moved by themselves and it led me toward James. So it's James 1 and 2. So first off, it says, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. So legit smack me in the face with, you're going through this anxiety, this dark thing that you don't know what it is, but consider it pure joy. Next line, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. So this was a test of my faith. And it was a very strong. I usually have these moments too, but not as strong as this one, as these 3 days, 2 days. It wasn't as strong, but this one was strong. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea blown and tossed by the wind. It spoke to me because, first off, I went to a different chapter. I don't remember what chapter it was, but I went to a different book of the Bible, and my hands just moved by itself, kind of. It sounds weird, but that's what happened. I think God guided me to this chapter because it really hit me. It really hit home. So this was a test. It was a test. How am I gonna react? I didn't know how I was gonna react. I was pretty scared, and then because I was like, "Yo, what is this? I haven't felt this since before I was a Christian." And the beautiful thing about this is that I found out that I went to test before I was a Christian, but now that I'm a Christian, I lean on the Bible. I didn't know what to lean on before I was a Christian. Now I do. Before I was confused. I didn't know nothing. I was just sitting in my depression, getting more and more dark. I did not know what to lean on. But now that I put my faith in God, I knew what to do. Because I know who to go to now. In prayer, in in the word, or in everything. I know what to do. I know where to go. Like, it snapped me back to reality. And I was like, oh wow, this is a test. Especially the things I'm doing now in church and in social media. It's just like, yeah, Satan does want to attack me because I am a threat. I do Bible studies. I do get messages out to the youth and all that. And it's just like, Satan does think I am a threat because I am going against what he wants everybody to do. And just, Satan just wants everybody to either follow him, but he doesn't really care about that. He also is just like, he doesn't want you to follow God. That's the main thing he doesn't want you to do. And he doesn't care if you're an atheist because you don't believe in anything. And that's like, whoa, I ain't got to do nothing. You believe in nothing, so Satan has you where he wants you if you're an atheist. If you don't believe in anything, he's got you. Satan thinks I am a threat, along with pastors and preachers and everybody who talks about God, who's working to build the kingdom of God in however many ways you want to see that, whether it's music, whatever it is. You are a threat to Satan if you are really trying to build God's kingdom. Satan's number one goal is to separate us from God, make us think these things and try to, overcome us by our mental with depression and this darkness. That's what Satan wants you to do. That's his goal. He wants your life to be a living hell. But you had to realize, if you're a Christian, you have to realize that this is a test. If you're a Christian and you felt these things, this darkness, this sadness, whatever it is, or if you had thoughts again about doing things to yourself, you had to realize that, hey, you have something to lean on now. Go to the Bible, pray, talk to God from your heart. You know what to do now. This anxiety that's overcoming you, as you are, a Christian, you're walking in this path, you're going God's kingdom, you had to realize that, hey, Satan does want me, but God has you. But you have to believe in that. You have to believe that God is here for you. He does love you. He doesn't want you to go astray, but He will get you back. This experience helped me grow a lot more. It helped me be grounded a lot more. It helped me realize the things that I'd done, as a Christian, that I needed to stop doing certain things. Or, I just learned so much. It's so much that I learned, and there'll be a long list that will be here for days probably. But it's a long list that I learned from just this one experience, and I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for this test. I'm grateful. I'm happy that I gone through it, and I was happy in it because I was analyzing everything. I was like, what does God want me to do? What does God want me to get from this? That's what I do with everything that happens to me, whether big scale, small scale. I always say, hey, what does God want me to get from this?